Story 1. Hobbies that you do for pure joy, not money. Monetizing a hobby makes it a job. Do I occasionally get paid for a loaf of bread I made? Yes, because my friends insist even if I volunteer. Scrolling on your phone does not count as a hobby. Story 2. Absolutely a toolkit. Not just metaphorically, but an actual set of tools. Whether it's for assembling furniture, fixing a leaky faucet, or just opening a stubborn jar lid, knowing you can handle these things yourself is empowering and practical. Plus, nothing beats the feeling of fixing something on your own. It's a small investment in being independent and ready for whatever life throws your way. Story 3. A proper bra fitting. I'm not talking about Victoria's Secret. I mean a fitting at a bra specialty store, where they will actually see you put it on and make sure it fits. Embarrassing? Maybe slightly, but not as much as wearing 2 cup sizes too small for years. Story 4. A good, trustworthy gynecologist who will actually listen to you. It took me over 10 years to find one who would diagnose and surgically treat my endometriosis, and it's been a life-changing godsend. Story 5. Acceptance and belief in the validity of ourselves as we are, without anything or anyone or any product or child or achievement. We are enough just as we are. Our entire body and all of its functions and our brains and our feelings are all just as they should be, and all are meaningful and valid. They don't need acceptance or judgment from anyone or anything. We are in charge of every part, and no one can make a decision about what is right for us except us. Story 6. A mindset that you don't have to have all your things together once you turn 30. I keep seeing these questions come up on my front page. Why is 30 the limit? Story 7. Sunscreen you like and UV-resistant bathing suits. It's one thing to be all tan and sexy at 25, but at 45 you'll be happy to not have the skin damage or be looking for cancer all the time. And this applies no matter your skin tone. Dark-skinned individuals get skin damage too. Story 8. A healthy contempt for anyone and anything that tries to prey on your insecurities. Any message that says you're not thin, pretty, attractive, successful, quiet, assertive, or feminine enough can be safely thrown in the trash where it belongs. Note that it is good to listen when people, especially those close to you, tell you that things you do or say are genuinely problematic and cause harm to you or others. But if it's just some random person giving you a list of qualifications you must meet for them to accept your simple existence, they can be disregarded entirely. Story 9. Financial literacy and a basic knowledge of home repair skills. Replacing plumber's tape, checking the U-joint in the sink, using spackle, putting up hooks for frames. All those small tasks a surprising number of women hire a handyman for. Story 10. The strength to say no and to stop letting people steamroll them. No has been my favorite word my whole life, but I was lucky enough to have a grandmother who taught me to use that word more often and stick to it. Story 11. Financial independence. This includes having a solid understanding of personal finance, building a savings or investment plan, and maintaining a good credit score. Being financially independent gives women the freedom to make decisions that are best for their well-being, without being limited by financial constraints. It also helps build confidence and security for the future. Story 12. A savings account with at least 6 months' worth of living expenses, a reliable support network of friends or family, and a strong understanding of her personal boundaries. These are things that can truly make a difference in navigating adulthood. Story 13. A wake-up light alarm clock. The light turns on gradually and wakes you up gradually rather than waking up to obnoxious beeping. It makes the start of my day more positive. Story 14. I bought an air compressor to store in my car to pump up my kids' balls and bike tires, and it's been life-changing. Previously, I used my husband's industrial air compressor, but I could never find the correct fitting. It sometimes didn't work, and I wasn't able to move it from its spot in the work shed because it was too heavy. I'd have to take bikes back there, and it was a pain. Seriously, the air compressor has been the best thing, other than my own toolkit, I've bought in many years. Story 15. As my mother always said, a driver's license is an absolutely essential foundation stone in your independence. This isn't so important to emphasize in the States, where pretty much everyone gets a license anyway, but no matter where you're from, a license is crucial. She always said every woman needs to at least be able to drive, preferably legally, but at least have the skill so she's not dependent on her husband or anyone else. Story 16. Self-worth. A vibrator or orgasms. Basic car or mechanic knowledge. How to change your tire. Check your oil and fluids. Edit. The spacing of my words was not good. Story 17. A vibrator. So much stigma historically around self-pleasure and similar topics. I found it very liberating to experience an orgasm without any stress or drama. Story 18. I love that many of these suggestions are not about possessions. Do not get me wrong, material stuff is nice, but often the most important things cannot be bought. Story 19. On my 30th birthday, I received a toolkit and a bike helmet from my best friend and her mother. We roared with laughter at the practical gifts, so adult. I still have the now busted toolkit. Story 20. Live alone for a little while. Leave home. Gain independence. I know it's not cheap, but once you get that job and that salary that allows for it, then live alone and create your space and enjoy it. Story 21. Financial stability. After speaking to over 3,000 women in their 40s to 50s from Australia, the United States, and the United Kingdom, Maslow's hierarchy of human needs is true in this case. Financial stability always helps in building up a woman's confidence. A shocking and incredibly concerning number of women who badly need proper help or anything can't afford it year after year. A lot of that can be attributed to continuous poor decision-making on their part. Getting therapy through insurance, interestingly, did not progress many of these women but kept them reliant. They repeated the same mistakes again and simply went back to therapy and never became wealthier. Their children are raised in a financially unstable household. This is from the data and why we can't completely blame mental health. There is not much difference in the traumatic experiences of women who are financially stable versus women who aren't. The women who made money simply took their pain, focused, and went for it. I'm aware this isn't black and white. I'm answering the original question while keeping this readable. Ultimately, I don't think we should encourage anyone to glamorize being broke well into their 50s, 60s, or 70s. Story 22. Confident ability to drive a stick-shift transmission and change a flat tire. Anything to not be at the mercy of possible ill-minded strangers. Never felt more strongly about this than after watching The Human Centipede. Story 23. A driver's license. It's something I see fewer and fewer young women doing where I live. It's expensive and time-consuming, but being able to drive can get you out of so many dangerous and difficult situations. Also, the longer you wait to learn, the more intimidating it can be. Story 24. Know how to do basic repair and maintenance. Learn how to change a tire. Learn how to hang things on walls. Learn how to plunge a toilet. You won't need to use these skills every single day, but when you do need them, it's good to know you have yourself to rely on. Story 25. A career. I was a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and just started a full-time job, and it's so hard to balance everything. I always tell my daughter to start her career right after graduation so she won't struggle like me. Story 26. Follow your instincts. It's there for a reason. Never second-guess yourself. Ever. Also, be content. Trust yourself and the universe. Be okay with dreaming, but also be patient. If it's meant for you, it will find you. If not, it was never for you, and learn to be okay with that. If you have faith, it doesn't matter which kind. You will always find your way. Life goes on. Pinky promise. Story 27. A financial safety net. Whether it's an emergency fund, a retirement account, or a skill that can generate income, financial independence is crucial for women at any age. A strong support system. This could be a network of close friends, family, mentors, or a therapist. Having a support system to lean on during tough times is invaluable. A sense of self. Knowing your values, your boundaries, and what you want out of life is essential for making informed decisions and living a fulfilling life. A hobby or passion. Having something outside of work and relationships that brings you joy and fulfillment is important for overall well-being. A travel experience. Stepping outside of your comfort zone and experiencing different cultures can broaden your horizons and give you a new perspective on the world. Story 28. A bucket is incredibly useful. A basic Home Depot 5-gallon bucket can be so many things and have so many uses. Something is leaking. Use a bucket to catch the water. Is the toilet clogged? Get a bucket and pour water down the toilet to help loosen the clog. Everyone should own a bucket. Story 29. Their own money, investments, life insurance, job, home, hobbies, friends, and plenty of marketable skills to last a lifetime. Don't rely solely on a man, even if you're a stay-at-home wife or mom. These men could leave you homeless while he moves a new girlfriend into the home you made with him. Consider the idea that if you're going to get married, live separately. At least you'll maintain home security and your own space. I forgot to mention, learn weaponry, learn how to fight, and have survival skills. Story 30. A toolkit. All women need to know how to do things. Build something using nails or screws, repair things, adjust things. It's not rocket science. The first few times it will probably be challenging, but keep going and you will amaze yourself. Then you will probably start adding to your toolkit. Story 31. No longer a woman, but a bra that fits properly. It will save you so much grief. A bra that fits is a good resource. Also, a strong sense of self. Know who you are and accept that you are enough. Single or not, fat or thin, tall or short, rich or poor, you are enough. Your feelings and needs are valid. Never let anyone talk down to you or make you feel like garbage. Story 32. Conviction. You must be unwavering in your beliefs about who you are, what you deserve, what sort of treatment you will tolerate, and what you won't. Stop negotiating your worth with people, especially men, and stop engaging with anything or anyone who doesn't honor who you are. Story 33. A really solid sense of self sounds silly, but knowing what you want and who you are at your core will help navigate you through so much nonsense and help you avoid wasting time on things you know will not add value to your life. Story 34. A car that is paid for, reliable, and in your name only is more life-changing than some might think. Unless you've personally had a burdensome car payment, a car that is constantly in the shop, or one that was in a man's name that you drive, then you know how this can shrink your entire life. Having your own reliable transportation opens up possibilities. Story 35. At least a year living alone without a romantic partner. Learning to be self-sufficient emotionally and practically. You are not ready to be with another person until you have learned to be with yourself. Story 36. As a woman, I kind of hate this thread. All women don't have the same needs, and 30 as a milestone age is arbitrary. Never mind, a lot of the top-voted answers are super reductionist in nature. Top-voted answers about self-worth, sexual autonomy, and so on all feel really condescending, to be honest. This question could be rephrased without the restrictions of age and gender and stereotypes, and likely be a lot more useful to everyone, women included. Story 37. Money in an account or fund that accrues compound interest and that only you can touch. Not in a joint account with a spouse. If you are risk-averse, find a bank insured by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation with a good interest rate or get a certificate of deposit. Also, as soon as you can, look into mutual funds or a Roth individual retirement account. Invest bit by bit over time. Remember that what you invest or save now has time to build and can end up being a lot when you finally need it. Story 38. An appreciation of your youth. I am only 32, but I wish I had been kinder to myself, not taken myself for granted. In your 20s, care for yourself. Wear sunscreen, and work towards being as strong and healthy as you can. That's not to say worry, that's to say you are deserving of care, even if that's just to yourself from yourself. You do not need other people's validation to be a beautiful person. Story 39. Not exactly the question, but 1. Learn to change your own oil in your car. Learn to check the tire pressure. Learn to put air in the tire. Learn how to change your own tire. Story 40. Some kind of independence and stability. Even if you live at home, have roommates, or live with a significant other, I think it's seriously necessary to be independent in some capacity and not solely depend on the people or things around you. Story 41. The ability to be happy not in a relationship. To just be alone and be okay with it. Okay with doing stuff alone. Okay with going places alone. Yeah, it's nice to date someone. But you don't have to jump from one relationship to the next. It's okay to be alone and be okay with that. Story 42. A really nice jacket. Something that is formal and keeps you warm. There is nothing better than having a total knockout of an outfit and a perfect jacket to go along with it. Story 43. Credit in their name and the ability to earn a living on their own. You need to be self-sufficient so you don't get stuck in a bad or abusive relationship. Story 44. A little black dress for when she wants to look fabulous at the last minute. On a more serious note, a retirement account even if she can barely afford contributions to it. I am middle-aged and have quite a lot of friends who cannot afford to retire, and I will hopefully retire early. When you are young, you have compounding interest on your side.